What's going on, y'all? Brandon Allen here, and as the title of the video says, I'm looking at my second week of weightlifting training. I've never done it before up until last month, so I just want to document my journey. And for those of you who are getting into weightlifting, and when I say weightlifting, I'm referring to Olympic style lifting such as the snatch and clean and jerk. For those of you who are interested and you want to follow along, by all means do so. And hopefully, if you haven't started or you have started and you just got into it, you can take a look at my videos, pick apart what I'm doing or the methodology of why I'm doing it, and incorporate it or make adjustments or like point out in the comment section like, hey, it's messed up, or here's how you can improve, whatever. So before I get into it, I want to take a look at where I've been in terms of strength and also in terms of injuries, because I'll kind of give you an idea too and give myself an idea of where I'll be going and how fast I can progress towards there. So while I do that, I'll just let some old training footage play. So starting off with like the bench press, my bench press was 275 pounds in 2019. And that translates over to 125 kilos. My squat was 375 pounds or 167 kilos. And my deadlift was 435 pounds or 197 kilos. And I had a strict overhead press of 185 pounds at 84 kilos in 2019. And I'm saying 2019 because that's when I had my initial back injury, and I let that deter me and kind of take me out of things for over a year. And it wasn't until I decided to do weightlifting that I got back under the bar and started pushing myself again. And then also during the COVID-19 lockdowns, I decided to work on hip internal rotation and to get my flexibility up there so my feet aren't pointed out so much and I didn't have the duck walk thing going. And I ended up tweaking my MCL. So I'm working with those two things and just slight adjustments, but just getting back under the bar, squatting again, especially high bar squatting and front squatting, have helped out tremendously. Now, before I get into the footage of week 2, I want to look at just one video in January of this year where I pretty much just watched YouTube videos and was looking at, okay, how do you actually do this? Like, how do you clean and jerk? And so this is just me toying around with weight. What is this, 145 pounds? Yeah. So it's not terrible, I guess. Just a power clean. The deadlift is bad, but yeah, so that's just kind of giving me an idea of what I was doing beforehand on my own. A lot of jumping forward, and that doesn't get better, believe me. It's going to take a while, but that is that. So the training I'm doing now, or like the coaching I'm getting right now, is kind of in a group setting. As a beginner, there's individual programming involved, and the coach kind of keeps a closer eye on you to make sure your form is good and he's actually instilling into you proper movement patterns. And one thing that kind of gets me in, here's the hang power snatch with an overhead squat. So yeah, that was just, again, my second week, and it's not terrible, but it's definitely, I'm pulling really early, elbows are bent already. A lot of work needs to be done, but the mobility is there at least, and I'll say that. Now, from my take on things, just going from the second week, and I finished my third week this Saturday, sorry. So I finished my third week this Saturday, yesterday. And what I'm noticing is that for a lot of it, it's either you're doing the lift or you're not. There's no minor adjustments you can make in the middle of the lift, like if you're benching or squatting. It's going up over your head or wherever it needs to be, or you're just missing the entire lift. There's no minor adjustments you can make. And I think that's one aspect that myself I'm really enjoying about weightlifting, and just kind of the feeling of raw power. I love when the bar is over my head in the snatch position. It's just a very powerful, to me anyways, it's a very powerful position to be in. if you you watch the Rocky movies, when he gets to the top of the stairs, he doesn't like sit there and go, there's none of that. It's all overhead, man. This is a powerful position, and it's the position of victory. So just continuing on and looking at some other things. Aside from the hang power snatch, we pretty much worked on, for that week, hang power snatches, hang power cleans, and worked on pulling from the block as well. And you'll notice that the bar, let me pull the video of me deadlifting to the hang power clean. But you'll notice that when I do my hang power cleans, the bar is always just generally like super close to me. And that's just kind of how the coach was teaching it. So he's saying, hey, keep the bar close to you, don't dip too far down. When you're in the power position, which is kind of counterintuitive to some of the other videos I saw teaching the hang power clean and the hang power snatch, where it's like the bar doesn't necessarily have to be touching you specifically. The bar shouldn't be touching you specifically. It should be a little bit further out, and maybe like an inch or so out, so you're able to have the hip drive and be able to actually get momentum moving on the bar. My only guess, and for those of y'all who are new to weightlifting or just new to being coached in general, something that you probably have to work over or just get over actually is someone sitting there and telling you what to do or how to do it, and you may not be used to it, or there might be different methodologies that they're using. So my guess is maybe I'm taking it too literal when he says, hey, keep the bar close to you, or it needs to be like up against you, and maybe I'm taking it too literal. But just one thing that's getting me is that right there. So you'll see moving into week 3 that my form drastically improves, not like to a tremendous amount, it's still a lot of work to go, but my form improves quite a bit, and that's just me taking time to practice on my own like I'm doing now, and kind of just toying with my own form, toying with what kind of weight I can do, and without a coach actually being able to watch me. That way I can see what works and what doesn't and make individual adjustments. But that was week 2 in a nutshell. It was a lot of hang power cleans, hang power snatches to be able to work on the leg drive, work on the movement of the power position, and a lot of pulling from the blocks, and then also deadlifts, so a snatch deadlift, clean deadlift, and getting those positions right as well when we move into the full clean and full snatch. But that about sums up like the second week of training. There wasn't like a tremendous amount. I was just reinforcing the basic principles and making sure that I am able to generate enough power off the ground, from the power position, to be able to actually move the weight where it needs to be at before getting into the full things. Now, we did things such as like the snatch balances, or some people might call them drop snatches, where you just drop into the snatch while the bar is on your back. Push presses, things of that nature, very basic things. The things for me, and the things that will probably get you in the beginning, is definitely the snatches and things pertaining to snatches, simply for the fact that it's not a very natural position that anyone ever does outside of weightlifting. I guess you can, in a sense, say maybe the strongman log press, but even that's kind of iffy, because I think it's more akin to the clean and jerk, and just different style of how you're actually lifting the log up. But that is the second week, and I'll be taking a look at the third week here in the next video, and you'll see, I'll probably do like side-by-side comparisons too, to see what I did in the second week and how I did it in the third week, to see the improvements pretty much. If you like the video, give it a like. If you just want to follow along, I'll be posting these once a week and just kind of going through and looking at how things progress. And yeah, that's it. Take care, guys.